We've played with every single character in Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2, and now it is time for us to finally throw them into a tier list. We're going to be ranking every single character, including some of the Academy characters. Keep in mind, this is all opinion-based. This is just going off of my personal experience with the characters. If you feel differently, man, let me know where you actually disagree with my rankings in the comments, and let's go ahead and hop into this.
Suzuki, you want to see what true resolve is? I'll show you.
But yeah, when we do our tier list for Demon Slayer, we're going to be doing our tier list. We have, let me see. Let me zoom in. We have S for easy mode. I feel like when you're playing these characters, the game is just significantly easier. Of course, of course it all goes off of skill, but I feel like when you're playing with these characters, you can reduce your difficulty level a lot if you know how to use them. I feel like A is just a great character. I mean, you know, you can win some things with them. You know, if you're playing tournaments or just playing competitively, you can win with these characters. They're not as good as the S or easy mode characters, but they're still good. I feel like B means you could still win with these characters, but they require skill and require you to actually know the mechanics of the game a lot and actually know how to maneuver through. You're playing a harder battle. I feel like C is you like a challenge. These characters are really hard to play with, really hard to be successful with while you're playing them. You can play them, you probably can't win with them, but it's a lot of a challenge. And then I feel like D is just losing streak. I feel like you might be able to win with these characters, but you're probably going to be losing more than winning if you're playing them. That is how we are ranking this. And this is only going to be going off of if you're having them as a point character. I'm not really doing this in the terms of assist. I'm not taking into account the assist. I'm not going to do that. So this is only from playing with them as the main fighter, not as an assist. All right, so first we have normal version of Tanjiro. He has the water wheel, he has the water wheel, the whirlwind, and I think also the water basin one. I feel like, I mean, he still holds up. He's pretty fine. I feel like water Tanjiro, I don't really see anybody really running him. I'd say probably a C. You like a challenge with him. I mean, you could win with him, but, you know, just a little bit outdated with some of his moves, I think, you know. But it makes sense. He's the first Tanjiro. Next we have, I'm pretty sure this is Hinokami Tanjiro. This one is extremely busted and crazy. I don't remember if this is the one that has this is the one I think that has the unblockable. I think this is the one that has the move that he can use it to extend things if he chooses to. I think this one's great. I think this is a great character, especially if you know how to pair your things together with this character. Next we have Entertainment District. Entertainment District Tanjiro. I do think Entertainment District is pretty good as well. I don't think he is as good as, and this is not going to be in any order unless I like specifically say in order. They're just going to be put in that tier. S, nah. This one's not better. I don't think this one's better than Hinokami Tanjiro. I think Entertainment District Tanjiro is, I mean, pretty good. I don't know if he's better. I mean, we can still put him in the great category. I still think he's a great character. This one, Swordsmith Village, is like you like a challenge. I'm gonna put him here. I'd even go as far to say losing streak, but I'll say you like a challenge. I'm not really the biggest fan of this one. I feel like you're playing a little bit of a harder game if you're using this one. Nezuko, I personally don't use Nezuko a lot, but I do like that she does have a nice armored move. Her projectile, I mean, her normal skill is pretty good. Also, her tilt skill. I'd say what Nezuko maybe requires skill. I think she's a character that requires skill. When we look at full adult demon Nezuko, I think this one has insane damage. This one shits out damage. This character just puts damage out. But also, I think, and she also has that teleport, but the teleport is punishable. It is punishable. So I do think this character is great. I'm not going to say requires skill. I'm going to say she's a great character. But I do think that she can maybe get punished by some, if you know the game, if you know how her moves work, and you know where you can punish her at, I do think you can hurt this Nezuko. I think she takes a good amount of damage as well. We have normal Zenitsu. I think normal Zenitsu is fine. I mean, I do think that he has, you know, some good damage output. I would probably put him maybe in the require skill range. I'd probably put him right here. Entertainment District, Zenitsu, if you're talking about in terms of assist, his assist is really good. He does do a lot of damage with that. I do think this one is better than the other one. As far as running him as like a main point character, I don't really see a lot of people just use him as the main point character. I do like both of these Zenitsus. Both of their heavy attacks are really good. I mean, but most skilled players are going to know how to dodge his heavy attack, and you're not going to be able to just spam them with his heavy attack. So I do think requires skill to play with this character at a high level. Not going to just be as easy as S and A. Next we have normal Inosuke. This isn't the one that can do you in the loop, but he does have that really good tilt skill that I believe puts you into the blue combo. I think that's really good. I do think Inosuke is better than Zenitsu personally, because he also does have the Boar Rush that is armored. I'm not going to go as far as to say great, but I will put him in the required skill range. But I do think Inosuke is a pretty good character. I'd probably put the same one with this one. I do think this character is also pretty good. He has the unblockable, which allows you to loop, but you can get out of it just by jumping or just by spamming. If you just mash, then you'll also be able to get past this, so not too much to worry about. Sabito. We look at Sabito. I do like Sabito. I think he has a really nice grab. I like some of his moves. I like the way he moves around, but I don't think it's really nothing that's like too crazy. Like, he doesn't really have, like, I guess, like a gimmick or anything that, you know, that's makes it where he can really abuse. I feel like he's pretty much just, you know, pretty straightforward. There's nothing really. I'm not, like I said, this isn't an order here, but I'd put him in this range as well. You like a challenge, I think, you know. I don't think you're gonna see too many people just running with Sabito, actually trying to like win a whole lot of matches or be like competitive with Sabito. I'd probably put Makomo down here as well. I like some of her moves. I do like her guard skill. I'm pretty sure it allows you to block at least. I do like her guard skill because, you know, you can't really get punished from that, but I think her damage output is a little bit low. Now, I'm not really trying to like hit my opponent so many times to get some damage. Udodaki has some of the best defense in the game. I do like his traps as well, and he does do some really good damage. I do think that he has alarm going off like always. I do think that he has a little bit of trouble getting in on his opponents, especially like zoners and stuff like that. But I mean, also I feel like necessarily he doesn't. He does need to get in. I do like his water wheel has a different activation, but I do think to actually win a lot with this character, it's gonna require a little bit of skill. You're gonna have some trouble getting in on some of the characters that like the zone. Murata. Once again, we're only talking about this as like playing them as the point character, the main one fighting. I say Murata's probably you like a challenge as well. I mean, there's nothing like just too crazy about the kit that he has, you know. That's what I feel from that point. That's why I'm putting him there. Nothing too crazy about his kit. Genya, I do like that his counter has a long activation. I do think his skills are also pretty solid. I wish the tilt skill activated better. The tilt skill, I feel like I wish it worked more like Yushiro's skill, where it was really fast and it allowed you to get out. You said Rengoku and Akaza straight easy mode. At least give our boy B at least dead calm counter, ain't it? He said the dead calm. That dead calm is pretty bad. That is pretty bad. I'm gonna have to probably. I wish his tilt allowed him to dodge more like Yushiro. If it had covered more range. I'll put require skill. I would put him at great, but that tilt skill I think is what hurts me. I wish it moved faster. We need that to move faster, but being able to heal I do think is pretty good. And I wish his combos were a little bit better, but I do think that he can heal from his boost is really good. I'd probably say he might be at the top of this rank of this category, but we're not putting it in order. We're just putting it there. I guess maybe we could. No, we'll keep it where it's just not in order. Well, actually, we'll put it in order. Actually, I want to actually put it in order because I want you to actually see who I think is maybe the best of these categories, my actual true ranking. So we actually will put things. Me personally, I like Uraraki more than Nezuko, and I'd probably say the Zenitsus are maybe at the bottom of this category. Maybe Genya is at the top of this. Me personally, I can play better with the Inosuke, better than Genya, but we'll keep it here. So we will actually put this in order. I think it'd be kind of bad to say that Murata is better than that Tanjiro. We'll put it here. I do think Tanjiro maybe is a little bit better to play with than Makomo. Yeah, we'll put him right here. That's how I would think that'd go. And then here's the ranking for this right now. I will say Demon Nezuko, full adult Demon Nezuko is better than Entertainment District. Gyu, like Kid Mike said before he left out of here, his dead comm is pretty bad. It takes too long to activate. You can't even really use it when you're doing it off of a push block. I think one of his moves being like damn near unusable does hurt him. His damage is pretty good. I'd probably maybe put him, I'm not going to say you like a challenge. I'd say probably still requires skill. But because one of his moves are unusable, I'd probably say that he isn't better than using one of the Zenitsus probably. One of his moves just don't work well. Shinobu, I fucking hate this character. I'm not gonna say losing streak, but I fucking hate that her poison only comes from her guard skill. I mean, and maybe somebody that with more experience with this game will explain why it's like that. But I feel like it should work more like Yutero's poison. And because of that, I'm gonna put her at You Like a Challenge. I'm not gonna put her underneath Murata, but I don't like Shinobu at all. I don't like this character. And we're not gonna really rank the Academy characters. We'll just put him down here. We'll put the Academy characters down here because I mean there are some changes with them. They are a little different, but like I'm not really gonna rank the Academy characters. I mean they do have like different defense attributes and stuff like that, but I feel like it's fine just to have them right there. We're not even gonna go with the Academy characters. We're just gonna do the main characters. Rengoku has really good damage. Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of how his combos work, but I do know that an actual good Rengoku can do some good things. I'd even say like requires skill, maybe like at the top of this. His assist is good, but we're just talking about this from the point of running them like as the main character. I'd maybe say that he does require skill. I don't think that Rengoku is just easy, even though Kid Mike did say that he's straight easy mode. I don't think Rengoku is just straight easy mode. He does have a lot of good damage, but I think once you know how his moves work, you can punish him. I guess we could put him in great. Maybe you could say he's better than Entertainment District Tanjiro. Better than Entertainment District Tanjiro. Tengen. I do think that his grab is really good. I do like his grab. I actually would say that Tengen is better than Rengoku. I think his grab is really nice, and I do like that he also has his guard skill, the invincibility frames with that. You can punish his normal skill, so if you go with from the tilt into the normal, it does leave him a little bit weak right there, but I think if you know how to use his arsenal, you can avoid yourself from taking too much damage. Morichiro I think is really good. I do like his counter. He has one of the best counters because he can manually activate it, so he can use it to apply pressure and also to counter you if you're coming in. In terms of ranking him on this level, I would say maybe right here. I think he could maybe punish a Nezuko. He could probably punish a Demon Nezuko. Maybe say Morichiro can go right here. Mitsuki is one of our first easy mode characters. She has a teleport that she can cancel out of and make it free. That alone is just cheesy right there because she could just close in. Her damage isn't just the most insane, but the fact that a lot of her moves are free because she can dash out of it allows her to apply some really good pressure. So we will say Mitsuki is easy mode, but I do think she does require a little bit of skill, but having that teleport really does make things easy for you. I really thought Obanai was a lot more crazy when I first tried this character. But now, I mean, one of the main things that makes him strong is his grab. His grab does make him good because of how far it goes and how fast it comes out, and the mix-up you can do with like trying to pair your normal dash while also doing your guard skill, because the dash-in looks very similar. Of course, you can see like that glow that lets you know that it's the skill that he's using, but the mix-up with Obanai is what I do think is pretty good, but I do think because you can punish the guard skill, which is his main way of closing in on you, you can punish that immediately. I do think maybe you put him down here underneath Genya in terms of what he can do. A lot of people probably won't agree with this one. Sanemi, I didn't think Sanemi was that good before, but once I've played some good ones, him closing the distance and the fact that he can make his tornado safe, he can make his tilt skill safe by just following up with the normal skill right after, is pretty fucking annoying, not gonna lie to you. And his damage is annoying, and he fights really good in the air. His air combos are really easy to pull off, which means a lot of people can really hurt you using Sanemi, because most people can pull off his air combos. I don't know if he's better than Hinokami. Is he? This is a hard one. Is Sanemi better than Hinokami Tanjiro? Is he easy? I don't know if he's as easy as Mitsuri though. Maybe at the top of A. I'd say he's at the top of A. Better than Hinokami Tanjiro. Because he's easy to pick up. I think he's easy to play. I think a lot of his things are easy. Gyomei, crazy damage, crazy pressure without even being unsafe, because he can just spam projectiles from a distance. That shit is annoying. His normal skill, his tilt does allow him to be punished. You can punish his tilt, but I think his normal and also his guard skill. You said don't disrespect my main. You're gonna see JB once you see the S at the top. You're gonna see like the S is like a special category for characters that are like really like that. I think Sanemi is really good, but he's not really like that. I don't think he's Gyomei and Mitsuri level. I do think Sanemi is really good though. Yushido, my main, man. Yushido, my main. He does have some cheap shit. I do think that he does have some stuff that's cheap. Some things that are easy to do, like being able to just like stun you and just easily just get, win the neutral. But I do think his damage output, and once you learn what he can do, it does make him a little bit predictable, and you have to actually know how to play with him to try to do something. So I do think this is probably you like a challenge. I would think that maybe at the top of, personally, this might be a hot take. I personally think he's better than Sabito and Makima. I'm gonna put him right there. I think he's at the top if you like a challenge. Personally, that's where I personally think he is. I don't think Yushiro is that bad. The sisters, the wives, I keep calling them the sisters. The wives, they did win a tournament recently, and they were at the top of every tournament. But that doesn't mean that everybody knows how to play with them. But I do think their normal skills and also their tilt, their combos, they're very easy to play with. But they're easy to play with at a good level, but using them at a high level does require a lot of skill. So I will put them at great. Because they are easier to use, I think they're easier to use than some of these characters here. I'll maybe put them, fuck it. I'm gonna put them right here. I think they're easy to play with. I think they do a good damage. I think that they have that effect that they're one character, but they have three. They basically like have that advantage of being able to call in assists without even really having. You get what I mean. They're one character, but they can call in their assist like they're fighting with two. I like that. I think that you could put them right here. Better than these characters because of also that zoning potential with their normal skill. This one, we have the Yoriichi Type Zero Puppet. The Yoriichi Type Zero Puppet. This one deals out a lot of damage, but I do think that it's a little hard for you to close in with this character. I mean, you do have the skill that gives you that armor, the spinning move, which I do think is pretty good, pretty strong. I'm not going to say easy, though. I do think that it does require you to know what you're doing to use this character. I'd maybe say you could put it above Entertainment District Tanjiro. I think it takes a little bit of skill to know what you're doing, but this thing does a shit ton of damage. I do think so. Yahaba, by himself, he only deals damage with his down combo, or also using his skills, his arts or his skills. I mean, his zoning potential is, annoying, but I don't think that he's just that crazy. I'd probably say you could probably put him in require skill. Maybe down here, maybe I still think that because of how much he can zone. Yeah, but his normal combo is not doing damage. That's kind of bad. It's really bad. I'm not gonna say he's worse than Murata or any of those. I might put him like right here. I think he maybe go right here. Maybe move him like maybe at the bottom of C. I feel like he could work all these characters. I feel like he could beat all these characters with the way that he plays, the way he fights. You could probably put him right here. Susumaru, I think, is really good. I mean, once again, I think this character falls in the same category as the wives. If you know how to use her really good, and you're really good with movement, and you know the mechanics really well, you can make this character much better. So I do think that maybe in terms of how good, I think it depends on you as a player. Of course, that's what a lot of these characters in this tier list, but I think the max of how good you could be with this character. I think some characters, if you're really good at the game, you can make that character insanely harder to beat. I think Susumaru is one of those characters that if you really know how to play the game well, this character is really fucking annoying to get by. I won't maybe put her that high. I think I will put her this high, actually. I will. It is pretty annoying. When you have the assist, you could just have Yahaba come out there and help you start your combos. I hate this character. I hate both of them, all three of them. But I do think it's easy mode whenever you throw in the assist. You throw in the assist and you just make things easier with her. Rui, I think, is pretty cool. I think Rui is pretty good. I think he could do a little bit of it all. I think that his normal combos also have some really good range. I do like that he could put the trap down to catch the assist and also catch people dashing in. I also want to try Rui a lot more. I think Rui is pretty cool. I think Rui is a great character. I don't know if I can say, is he better than Rengoku and Tengen though? That's a hard one, man. It's a hard one. We might. But I don't know. I feel like in terms of being able to use him and how you use him, I feel like maybe he would be a little bit easier than maybe Rengoku and Tengen. I think maybe Rui might go right there. I think Rui is pretty good. Damage output isn't as high as Tengen and Rengoku or even Nezuko. These are just damage monsters. These four that are right next to each other are damage monsters. But I still think Rui, I like that he can put the traps and has a little bit of zoning potential. He also has a move that gives him invulnerability frames. His tilt is not my favorite, but this is fine. Emu is very annoying. He can put you to sleep, but I do think that none of his that it's not armored allows you to actually be able to punish him. And if you know how to time things, bro, these alarms that go off, I have got to keep these alarms out of here. All right, so I think Emu, where did he go? Did it already move him? Oh. I think Emu requires skill. I might put him right here. I think he's better than Obanai, but I think Emu's right here. I think if you don't know how to use his combos or do his combos correctly, you're not really going to just be able to do that much with him. Also, I think that it's a little bit hard to like get somebody that's running away from you with Emu because his moves are so slow. So if somebody's like running or trying to stay away from you, I feel like it's a little hard for you to catch them. But I feel like once you do get close range with Emu and you can actually start dealing some damage and getting your resets in and stuff like that with the sleeping and stuff, I do think that he can be pretty good. But I had trouble closing in with him. I'm not gonna lie. Akaza, I think Akaza is really good. He does take a lot of damage, but I mean, he is the anti-zoner. He's really good. I do like Akaza a lot. In terms of ranking him here, probably is better than Mitsuki. Probably at the top of this. He probably is at the top of this. I do think it goes off of matchups. If you're using somebody that deals a shit ton of damage, so like if he's fighting like a Tengen or Rengoku or even like a Gyome, I think you could really melt down his health bar really fast since he takes a lot of damage. But other matchups, I think he can win those. Daki, I don't really like Daki at all. I think in terms of demons, I mean, she might be one of the worst demons. I don't think she's worse than Yahaba by himself, but I think maybe you could put Daki maybe in this range. Maybe you like a challenge. I don't ever see anybody just running Daki. Maybe put her here. I don't really like her, but maybe I think she's still maybe a more reliable option than some of these characters. Yeah, maybe still reliable than some of these characters. Yutaro. I like Yutaro a lot. His poison damage is really good. Yutaro, I think, is a great character. Kind of feels a little hard putting him above Genya, but I do like Yutaro. I don't know. I put him above Entertainment District. I think I'll put him here. I think his poison damage is really good. And also his demon skill, being able to have the little scythes follow him around or even like cover him whenever he makes a mistake. I think Yutaro can maybe go... I would personally maybe say that I like him a little bit more than Tengen or Rengoku. Maybe here. I'm gonna put Yutaro right here. Them as a pair, I think, is pretty much the same a little bit. I kind of like Yutaro a little bit more by himself because he can do that. I don't really like switching to Daki and then having to use Yutaro's assist, but if you're going to, I'd say they're probably like pretty similar. Maybe I'd even probably say it's a little bit lower whenever you have Daki's assist. It is nice being able to start your combos with her, so yeah, I guess maybe so. We'll probably keep it here. We'll probably put this one behind those two. So I think he might be a little bit better when he's by himself a little bit. Zohakten. We'll save Zohakten for last. Gyoko. I think Gyoko's pretty cool. He has some armor. His armor teleport that allows him to close the distance is really good for going against Zomers, but it does leave him punishable. Only thing is, both of his moves, some of his moves are punishable. You can cancel out of them, but it requires resources to do that. I think that is what hurts him a little bit. I think maybe Gyoko requires skill. I don't know. I think he might be a little bit more easier to use than Emu. I think maybe you could put him right here. I think Gyoko's cool, but because his little teleport with his assist, his demon skill is punishable, you have to go into your tilt skill to make that safe. If you don't go into your tilt and you just use your demon skill to close in, you're gonna get punished. Even his piranhas are oppressive, but when you're playing an experienced player that knows how to go against that, how to counter that, those piranhas aren't going to do much for you. And Zohakten. Zohakten can also be countered, but being able to just put dragons down and just apply pressure, like if your opponent knows how to deal with it and they're experienced, they're going to be able to deal with it. But just playing like a noob with Zohakten or playing somebody that doesn't play the game that much and you get Zohakten, you're going to wipe the floor with them because he can just do so much cheesy ass shit. I don't think he's better than Susumaru and Yahaba. I mean, you would kind of, some people probably argue that they're even better than Mitsude and him, but at least Mitsude can close the distance. I'd probably put them right there to finish that up, and maybe even say Zohakten might be here above Gyomei. I think Gyomei's maybe at the bottom of S. And I think this is going to be my final tier list for Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2. So I think the 5 easy mode characters are Akaza, Mitsude, Susumaru and Yahaba, also Zohakten and Gyomei. I think those are probably some of the 5 best characters in the game. But I do think that depending on who's using them, I think the wives, the Tengen wives, and I also think Sanemi can be really good options. And of course Susumaru. Those top 3 of the A category can very easily move up into that S easy mode if you have a really experienced player using them, especially the wives, because they can do a little bit of everything, but their guard skill being unsafe is kind of what makes them, it's what makes them still have to be in that A. If the wives had, if they were free, if they were safe on whiffing their guard skill, they would be easy mode. I think that's the one thing that's holding them back. They're not safe on that guard skill whiffing. And I do think one thing that would make Genya a better character is if his tilt skill was faster. I wish his tilt skill, I wish the dodge was as fast as Yushiro's dodge, because you can actually get out of the way with Yushiro's tilt. You can still get punished and hit if you don't do it with enough distance. So that's how I feel about that, man. Let me know how you feel about my tier list for Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2. Remember, this is all opinion based, but let me know in the comments, where do you disagree with my rankings, and who is your main in Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2, man. Hope you enjoyed the tier list, and yeah, I will see y'all in the next one.